I'm David Weiss. I'm the Lan and Owen Nguyen Professor of Software Engineering at Iowa State University. Before I moved to Iowa State University, which was about 3 years ago, I was an industrial researcher at places like Avaya Labs, Bell Labs, the Naval Research Laboratory, the Congressional Office of Technology Assessment, and various other places. So I have a relatively varied and wide industrial research background, and I am now an academic as well. Throughout my career, there have been certain themes that have been, in my view, very important to the software developers with whom I work, and that we have been developing both in the research area and in the industrial applications area. And I'd like to talk to you today about one of those themes. We call this software product line engineering. This is based on an idea called software families that was first enunciated by David Parnas all the way back in the 1970s. And what Dave Parnas said was, we consider a set of programs to be a family when it is worthwhile to consider what they all have in common before we start looking at individual variabilities. So when we think about families, what we're thinking about is software products that have something in common and where we can identify and define how they're going to vary from one to another. Why is this important? Well, if you can do this, it turns out that you can generate members of the family quickly, efficiently, and easily. The problems that we face are how to do this in a systematic way and how to make sure that the economics of this come out right. Now, if you look at other industries, say automobile manufacturing, bicycle manufacturing, digital cameras, you discover that they have solved a lot of these problems. For example, look at electronic digital cameras. They come out with a new camera every 6 months or so. They have different features. I've owned a number of these over the years. First one I had would only take still pictures. Then they had video. Then they had video with audio. Then they had HD video. I kept buying them. And the reason I kept buying them was because I liked these new features and I understood how they operated. And I always bought them from the same manufacturer because I knew how to operate that manufacturer's cameras. So the challenge for us in software is, can we do the same thing? The key in product lines is to be able to predict what kinds of changes you would like to see your products have in the future and across the marketplace. The better you can do that, the more efficient you can be about producing those products, and the more it pays for you. Think of yourself as creating options. Oh, I want to create a product that I can use on, say, an iPhone, as well as an Android phone, as well as a BlackBerry. And maybe there's going to be a new smartphone coming along in the future that I'm going to want to use it with too. Now let me see, what's the market like for those things? How many millions of people buy these? If I could do this and do it easily and efficiently, then I could sell to a number of different markets at one time, and all I have to do is focus on creating the application in one particular way. Now, I have to understand something about software architecture to do this, have to understand something about the economics, have to understand how to define my family, to define what's common to family members and how family members are going to vary, how I can develop the architecture from that, how I can develop the code from that, and how I can develop the tools that I need to generate it. We know how to do all this. We know how to do it in a systematic way, and it is something that is slowly spreading across all of the industry. And when I say all the industry, I mean you can look at avionics, you can look at automobiles, you can look at televisions, just about everywhere you look in the marketplace where there is a lot of software in the product, they are doing this. If you'd like to see some examples, try Googling Software Product Line Hall of Fame. There's a website with a number of product lines that have been elected into a Hall of Fame. This is done at the Software Product Lines Conference. Go to the Hall of Fame and you will see examples of different software product lines. For example, you will see Philips Consumer Electronics for TVs. You will see Bosch's engine controllers for cars. And you'll see a host of others, some of which I hope will resonate with you, and you'll look at that and say, hey, I could do that too. And it's a developing and burgeoning field, and we find it really pays. People get about a 3 to 5 factor advantage in it. What I mean by that is, if you do that, if you apply software product line engineering and compare how quickly you can create products compared to before you applied it, you'll find you can do it maybe 5 times faster. That is a big difference. So the idea is we start with families, identify what's common and what's variable. We create an environment, including an architecture, definitions, tools for producing members of a product line, and then we produce the product line members according to the wishes of the marketplace as they want it. And if we do it right, we get a tremendous advantage out of it. Thank you.